Israel as a nation absolutely loves anti-Semitism. And we've seen it before because Israel has specifically orchestrated and funded massive amounts of anti-Semitism to intentionally breed fear in the communities of Jewish people. I want to talk a little bit about the political weaponisation that took place regarding this incident. Okay, this horrific attack on two Jewish members of the community was immediately used to attack and target pro-Palestinian protesters. Right, immediately the question is from the right-wing Labour Party. The immediate question is, how much should this affect pro-Palestine protests? And now, I think it's so unbelievably crucial, and I'm going to do a YouTube video on this at some point when I've got more energy back from the other YouTube video I did. But I believe Judaism as a religion and Zionism needs to be kept completely separate. Otherwise, it does unimaginable damage to the Jewish community, right? It is, frankly, sickening to see people trying to conflate the two. And that's exactly what we've been seeing in the aftermath of this horrific attack on two Jewish people. It being used to suggest Zionism is crucial and we need to be preventing people from criticizing Israel, and that's the cause of this anti-Semitism. When in actuality, the constant conflation of Judaism and of Judaism and Zionism is a massive cause for a lot of this absolutely sickening anti-Semitic behaviour. Okay? My mindset is anti-Semitism specifically comes from the far right or from Israel. That's the two sources of anti-Semitism. People who are extremely right-wing and completely disagree with religion, and people who have massive benefits in a feeling of unrest within the Jewish community. And that is Israel. Israel benefit massively from increased anti-Semitism. So obviously Starmer especially immediately used this anti-Semitic attack, which was anti-Semitic, most likely, and that is absolutely horrific. But using that to try and direct the frustration towards pro-Palestine protests is sickening. Absolutely sickening. Starmer linking protests to attack with zero established connection is completely unacceptable, right? This attack, firstly, there's been no evidence whatsoever that suggests that this was a anti-Semitic attack, other than the victims of the crime both being Jewish. That's the only linking factor to anti-Semitism. I don't want to dismiss the fact that it could be anti-Semitism, and if it is, it's horrific. But I'm criticising the fact that it's immediately jumped on by politicians to spin into their own narratives, right? Just completely disgusting, in my opinion. This immediately being used to try to ban the Nakba Day march. Absolutely sickening. Especially, sorry, I was reading something. Especially as Tommy Robinson's march is absolutely fine to proceed. We've got genuine far right, quite anti-Semitic people on the right, like Tommy Robinson's group of fucking nutcases. Obviously, Tommy Robinson is very pro-Israel, but he is also very anti-Semitic. Those two things absolutely can coexist. The fact that his protest is allowed. Now, I don't think we should be banning protests at all, okay? But the fact that his are allowed and the Nakba Day march, that has absolutely nothing to do with this anti-Semitic attack, is being potentially banned because of this, is mind-blowing. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Such double standard. And it's so clearly being used to push Zionism and push pro-Israel rhetoric. Now, Zara Sultana came out with a good statement. As commissioner, Mark Rowley's job is to serve the public, not to make political attacks. Shame on him. Excellently worded, I think. Excellently worded. And might I remind you, this is the behaviour Mark Rowley is trying to defend. Just sickening behaviour. Just sickening. Oh, so I'm happy she came out to have a statement on this, especially because she's in a party that is directly competing with the Greens, right? It's extremely interesting timing that as we see the Greens do much better in our politics, that's when they start getting these kind of ridiculous attacks. Now again, I want to make a big in-depth YouTube video about this, and I want to make my stance on it very clear in that video, because it's a real thing that frustrates me. The conflation of Judaism and Zionism genuinely is fucking abhorrent to me. A massively peaceful religion getting constantly conflated with the scum that is Zionism is completely unacceptable. And the groups of people who are co-opting this movement of anti-Israel are absolutely trying to derail and shift the focus towards the Jewish religion. And I think everyone has seen it. You spend 5 minutes on Instagram and the comments are absolutely filled with, oh, it's the juice people. They have the emoji of a little juice box, right? And they say, oh, it's the juice people, suggesting that it's the Jewish people. And it's always whenever, for me personally, any kind of content criticising billionaires, right? Criticising the billionaire rich ruling class, there's always comments saying, it's the juice people, it's the Jewish people, oh, it's the big nose people. Utterly sickening anti-Semitism. That is genuine anti-Semitism. But unfortunately, I absolutely believe that's behaviour orchestrated by people who are pro-Zionism, whether it's Israel or the massive Christian Zionist movement. They're really trying to derail this anti-Israel, anti-billionaire narrative and shift it towards disgusting anti-Semitism. Just ridiculously sickening. My older sister is full-blown Zio. She went to Taglit Birthright and came back fully indoctrinated. That's terrifying. I've heard lots of stories about people who go to Israel for Birthright and they come away utterly hateful people. And it's often because they have been made to feel extremely afraid. And again, that is why I say anti-Semitism is the biggest benefit for Israel. Israel as a nation absolutely loves anti-Semitism. And we've seen it before because Israel has specifically orchestrated and funded massive amounts of anti-Semitism to intentionally breed fear in the communities of Jewish people so that they move towards Zionism and they move towards Israel. Just the most upsetting behaviour from a country, I think.